Hey guys, I'm going to give you an update on how my concussion and my recovery is doing. So on October 5th, I hit myself in the head with my rifle. Now, how I did this, I will get into that very shortly. So we have lights. Come on. Sorry. Lying down if you like to be part of the video too. So we have lights to use on Wednesday nights because Mondays and Saturdays we have the field, the football stadium, but on Wednesdays we don't. We have a practice field. So I figured, hey, well, let's go, okay? So I was like, bring it on. So we bring some lights out, and I told the people in front of me not to move the lights up because if you move it any higher up, we will lose our tosses. We will lose our rifles in the light. So I had gone to the bathroom and came back. Mind you, I wasn't there for the entire first movement of our show, so I had shown up right when they began the second movement. I was like, oh, I gotta get in there. I have to do it, okay? Because Brandon was like, go, get your ass in there. Your rifle on. You gotta do this. I was like, okay. So I grabbed my rifle and I started the movement and I got prepped. The second I looked up, I realized I couldn't see. So all the girls around me were like, oh, we're gonna toss. So I tossed. And I didn't catch. It hit myself in the head right here. And I noticed all the rest of the girls ran away from the rifle. And they didn't run. They backed up from the rifle a little bit. So I'll show you a picture. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. This is the picture. This is on my Instagram. So this is right after, I think this is a day after it could happen, or maybe it's that night of. These cuts were really deep. When I went like this, my mom said she can almost smell. She was scared because of how close it is. I can feel a knot. Ooh, it's so gross. I can feel the knot. Not the knot. I can feel the scar tissue in a bump. A bump. This it's so okay. A bump, maybe that big and a little bit bigger than this round thing on the very tip. Okay, it's so gross. But the kid moved the light, and I lost my rifle in the light. They said if it was any, she got it. They said if it was any closer to my temple, because it was already right here, I got hit here. They said if it was any closer this way, I could have died. I don't really want to say I could have died. They said there's a chance of death if it were to hit any closer to your temple. Because of the spot hit, if it were to hit just an inch over, I could have I could have had so much more brain damage than I had. I had a low-grade concussion, and I was so happy to have a low-grade concussion because I did take it easy after that day. When I noticed that I was kind of right after I got hit in the head, I noticed that I started to lose consciousness, but me being me, I'm like, no, bitch, you're gonna finish this work, you're gonna go hard to go home. That's just me. That's every time I've been hit in the head, grab that bitch and I've finished off my work. That has always been me. I'm always the one known to be I'm always the one to get that standing ovation because I work hard. There was a guard competition. I think it was winter guard. Can't remember the year. If I remember, I'll tell you guys. There was this one competition where this guy he was on Saber and he slashed open his face, so it was kind of curved. Because on a Saber, they have a sharp edge, but it's kind of like a thin piece of metal square, rectangle piece of metal, if that makes any sense to you. Usually we tape them once, with colorful tape or something for the show. Usually that's what we've done because we're prone to cuts and injuries. Myself. So this kid got cut, like, from forehead to cheek, forehead to chin, sorry, practically with his saber, and finished off the show. And that's what made me if I ever got hit, didn't matter where it was, I was gonna finish it off. So I noticed right after I went to go do a lunge, because we have a backhand kind of toss and you catch it. I noticed I started to go, whoa, like I just got hit in the head really hard. And then I felt something dripping down, so I wiped it. So I go to finish my work and I turn around because I have to make sure our captain gets around me before I keep going. Because what happens to our formation is it goes like this. So it's weird. So our formation's like this. So it's me, our captain, our other person, and then another girl. And they run in between us two. So we kind of just travel while they move. But you could think of it this way: they're just there and we're moving back. Or it's supposed to be the illusion that we're like this, but we move back. So I had turned around to look at her to make sure she was coming around me in time because I was ahead. I was like, I just got in the head. I gotta go home. I gotta make sure this is okay. So I was like going. I look back and all of a sudden I just can't see in this eye. I was like, oh fuck me, what did I just do? So I wipe my face and I'm like, okay, let's go, let's do this. So I'm like, holy shit, I can't even stand. I'm clenching my head because it hurts so fucking bad. At this point in time, I'm thinking to myself, what could I have possibly done? So I go like this to wipe off my head because I'm thinking it's sweat because I'm sweating so bad because I have sweat all over my face and I'm sweating in my armpits. So I'm like, fuck, what did I just do? And I'm wearing a white sweater. Now this white sweater, let me tell you, I think he's like 7 or 8 years old. Now I just found it in storage and it's kind of a warm sweater. It's a really nice sweater. It's an American Eagle sweater. Or it's an Abercrombie and Finch. I can't remember. I think it was AF or AE. I can't remember. And I just remember it was really white because I never worn it. I've worn it a couple times, but I haven't worn it for like maybe 5 to 7 years prior to this day. So I threw it on thinking, oh, I'm not going to bleed. My dumbass. The first thing I do after I punch down, I look at my chest, and I look at all my arm where I had just wiped, and I'm covered in blood. And my first thought is to keep putting pressure. So I'm like this, and I pull my hand down because one of our captains, we have to. Our other captain was like, oh my god, it's so bad, you need to go to the hospital right now. I'm sitting there, I'm freaking out. I'm like, dude, if you ever have a kid, you say that to your kid, you know how bad your kid's gonna cry? I was like, at this point, I wasn't even crying. I was just like, how bad is it? Like, I'm asking everyone, how bad is it? I am taking homecoming. Mind you, I found out the day before I made homecoming court. No, I'm sorry. The Friday before I made homecoming court. When I made homecoming court, I was determined to change my diet, to change everything I did, to make sure I didn't get hurt, to make sure I didn't pick out my face. I was trying so hard to find out that I was going to have a mark during homecoming. To me, this was a week before homecoming. I literally wanted to rip my eyeballs out. I literally was like, what the fuck? I was pissed after it happened. I was like, my face cannot look like this for homecoming. Like, I was I was mad, okay? So I was like, okay, I need to go to sports med and like have them tell me, because a lot of my friends were like, you might need 1 or 2 stitches. You might need this, you might need that, because you could see bone. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you could see the bone. I went to sports med and it was hanging on by this little itty piece. So if that little piece were to break off, you'd be able to like flip my skin up and you'd be able to see my skull. So all those girls in, she wiped it clean once, and then she's like, here's some gauze, I'm gonna give you some gauze. Here's some gauze. Now use this. If it keeps bleeding, like pouring, because if I make any type of facial expression, like I make a lot of facial expressions with my eyebrows, she's like, just put some pressure and it should stop. So I'm like, okay. Right. So I was like, okay, I'm fine. I'm looking down at my jacket, and at this point, I'm kind of scared because it's like, I'm gonna go home to my grandparents and be like, what do I tell them what happened? Because they're gonna be like, all this came on your face. But what happens usually is anytime you get cut on your face continues to bleed because you have such tiny, come on baby girl, you have such tiny, what are those called? I don't want to say chromatophores, it's like the wrong, capillaries, there you go. You have such tiny capillaries in your face that your face just would keep bleeding if it could, which is why you blush when you see someone you like, and you smile and you get all red, and then people are like, why are you blushing? You're like, I'm not blushing, and you're really blushing because you're getting all red. Usually it happens to me when I'm nervous, but I don't really get nervous anymore. I mostly get like the sweaty armpits now. I'm not really like a facial person. I got this, but it's just my armpit kind of like sweat, so it's like weird. So, anyways, I didn't realize I had a concussion until, let's see, that happened on a Wednesday. Saturday, Wednesday, so that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 days after. I didn't realize I had a concussion until 3 days after. So, how I knew I had a concussion was, after we performed, and I have a lot of head movement in that performance, that we have to do, I had realized I was really nauseous. And I was like, oh, like, well, I'm not pregnant. And I'm not on a boat, and I'm not land sick, and I can't get land sick, and I'm not on a roller coaster. So I was like, okay. So it kind of went away after I ate a little something and had a little something in my tummy. So then we get on the bus to go home, and I'm like, oh, you know what? It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. Nothing's wrong with me. So I know when I'm car sick because when I'm car sick, I usually eat right before I get in a car. We go on a windy road, and I puke after, and I feel fine. After I puke, I feel fine. I can go about my day, no problem at all. When I'm car sick, how I knew this wasn't car sick was A, we were going on the freeway in a straight line. B, I had eaten 4 to 5 hours prior to leaving the competition, prior to getting into the bus. Okay, let me tell you, I didn't eat. No, maybe it's been about 8 hours that I've eaten, because I didn't eat until about 1, 2-ish, maybe 9, 10 hours, because we didn't go home until about 10. We didn't get home until like midnight. Okay, let me tell you, I think we left at like 10:30. Okay, so that's how I knew that it was nothing to do with what I ate. Nothing. Okay, it could have been. Okay, it might have been. You don't get nauseous from eating bad food. At least I don't. I just get the shits. Okay, I don't know about any of y'all. You probably have different experiences than me. But I knew the second I got off that bus, I was not having it. I was like, ugh. I felt like puking so bad. I was like, dude, it's gonna come up. So I got in my grandpa's car. I was like, go home right now. Okay. So we get home, and the first thing I do is I walk in the bathroom, and I puked. And I was like, why am I puking? So my sister comes in. I was like, hey, I just puked. And she's like, well, are you sick? I was like, no. She's like, well, are you pregnant? No. Definitely not. And she's like, okay. Well, have you had any head injuries? And I was like, fuck you. Like, yes, I got hit in the head on Wednesday. She's like, oh shit. She's like, I forgot about that. She's like, Molly, you might have a concussion. So I was like, fuck, so now I gotta go in and get a concussion, like a CT scan on my head. I was like, great. So I was like, great. So I made an appointment for that following Monday, and I was like, screw me. But, I was just like, I never thought anything of a concussion because I've never had one before. I have had like really minor ones where they're the ones where if you like put your hair up your head, your like head like aches, or like every individual hair just hurts. But I've never had such an extreme case of one. Because I did lose consciousness I was on the ground, but I picked myself back up. Like I physically was like, no, you can't, you cannot do this. So like I'm like really hard on my body. Like I give my body some props, okay, because he does such a good job, okay. So I was just like, oh my god, I might have a concussion. So I went, got all nice and checked out, did all the whole 1,000 yards, and I was like, okay, my doctor's like, yeah, you might have a concussion. We want you to rest for a couple days. We don't want you going to practice. So I called my leaders and I was like, hey guys, sorry, I have a concussion. I can't come into practice. So I was like, whatever. So I go to school the next day. And I wasn't told I couldn't. My doctor never told me I couldn't. And I get into class, and the first thing I realized, my grandma told me to take a leave in the morning, and then I could take Tylenol or Advil or ibuprofen throughout the day. So I took my leave in the morning, and I walked up to school all happy and joyfully, and then all of a sudden I went from 100 to 0 real quick. I was just like groggy. I couldn't focus. I couldn't look at the screen. I was just like, or like I couldn't lift my head up to look at the screen, and like my doctor told me, no laptop, no phone, no looking at screens, no none of this. So I realized in all my classes, they're all physical. I have a digital design, I have econ and gov, I have English. We use a lot of stuff on the computer and taking notes. I have dance, I have ceramics, I'm missing one. Econ, gov, English, ceramics. Okay, whatever one I'm missing. You got art. Art's okay because that one like mellows me up. But I was just I was like not having it. I get in my second period class and I'm like, girl, I need to go to the office. She's like, why? I'm like, I'm not having it today. And she's like, well, what happened? I was like, I have a concussion. She's like, I'm calling the office right now. You shouldn't even be at the school, no matter how bad your concussion is. So she calls the school. She calls down to the office. She has someone come up and get me. I go to the office, and the lady, I almost said her name. She told me, oh, she's like, you cannot be. Sorry, my phone's vibrating. She's like, your grandma dropped off your doctor's note, but it doesn't say anything about you going. So you can just go chill in the student services. So I text my friends, I can't believe I'm in here, da 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 da. So one of my exes came to check on me because he was in my class and he walked me down to the office as well. But he left to go back to class and he came back and said, if you need anything, tell me and I can get you stuff. Because he's like he's the hookup at our school. I'm not gonna say who it is. But he doesn't do that kind of stuff anymore. He just said, kind of like joking, like if you need anything, tell me. If you need any intent, not judge, I can get you what you need. But I don't take any like painkillers like that. Especially when I was on medication, I tried not to take my medication because it was like I felt like it made me like a bad person. Because it's like, oh yeah, I take my Xanax or I take my vitamins. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to be that person addicted to like medication. So I always like took it like maybe once a week, if that. And I never really liked taking medicine, so I just kind of tossed it half the time. I'd like give it to my friend and be like, my mom, I take it to my mom and be like, you know anyone who wants this, tell them. Because like my mom has a lot of friends that have like their hands, carpal tunnel and arthritis. So a lot of my mom's friends are like, not naming names, by the way, so that way y'all don't get in trouble. But I never really sold it to them. I think I did it once, and then it was just because her hand hurt. I wasn't gonna let her sit there because she had carpal tunnel surgery, and then her other one needed carpal tunnel surgery. Okay, leave me alone. So, anyways, on with the story. I ended up not being able to go to practice that whole week. And I'm behind now an entire movement because they finished the third movement. And I kind of wanted to cry because that show, I was allowed to perform. The practice, though, I wasn't allowed to practice. So that's the sad thing. I wasn't allowed to practice at the practice before. I had to sit there and suffer. What I mean by suffer is I had to literally sit there with my hands on my hips and look pretty for third movement. I couldn't do anything. But my head hurt so bad. Like, this was last Saturday, and today is the 18th, and I felt really bad yesterday because when I went to practice, I couldn't even practice. Like, my head hurt so much. But anyways, sorry, my phone fell. Yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys my concussion story. Sorry it's a little longer than usual. I tried to make these stories short, but I wanted to include all the details. So if you have any further questions to a concussion, I'm practically certified. Just leave any comments below and share with me your concussion story. I love hearing it. Yeah. Subscribe, and I'll link my Snapchat and Instagram in the description box below. Bye, guys!